just for a moment, contemplate the idea that they purposefully named this after Elon Musk's meme coin. Like, they are using government right here in front of you. Like, just before you even get through to what this committee does, they are using it again. They're using government to maximize their profits. And I guess both Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk are planning to go in and just cut them across the board. Here is Ramaswamy.
What is up, everyone? Today we've got a heated one. Sam Seder is tearing into Joe Rogan for giving Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk a platform. Apparently, now they're public enemy number one because they're daring to criticize the government. We're going to be diving into this clip where Sam rants about billionaires, government cuts, and how the IRS is somehow the hero of this story. This is a wild one, so let's get into it.
Out here. Look, the
$2 trillion. I stand corrected.
No, I want to be very clear about the scale. I want to be very clear about the scale that we're thinking here. We're not thinking small. We're playing big here because we have a once-in-a-generation mandate right now. The American people have voted for drastic reform of the government, and our federal government is broken. It's no secret that it is a fourth branch of government, the administrative state that makes most of the rules, that creates a federal bureaucracy that's hampering our economy. So
pause it for 1 second. This is not a fourth estate of government. It is the government functions. It's the government functions. There's there's legislation, and then there's execution of that legislation. That's it. All he's talking about is not changing the legislation. What he's talking about is undermining the ability of these agencies to actually execute the directives of these agencies. I will give you an example of what we're talking about. We know that for every dollar that you spend on enforcement with the IRS, you get anywhere from like $5 or $6 back. You will recall that under the IRA, the IRS got $80 billion over the course of 10 years to basically shore up its ranks. If you look at a graph of IRS funding, it has gone precipitously down over the past 20 years.
The IRS, the agency we're all supposed to cheer for now. Sam's take here is wild. More money for the IRS means more fairness because they'll go after the rich. Really? Since when? The IRS love to audit middle-class Americans because they're easier to target. Billionaires have teams of lawyers ready to drag audits out for years. So let's be real, this $80 billion isn't about fairness, it's about squeezing every penny they can from regular folks while pretending to tax the rich. You're not fooling anyone, Sam.
And with that, they have cut the most expensive audits that they do. The most expensive audits that they do return them the most amount of money, but they are the riskiest for the IRS to take because they're going against rich people who have an army of lawyers. And so the percentages, the numbers, the raw numbers that they have been auditing low-income people has not changed. But the percentages has gone up because they've been able to do less enforcement of the expensive, of the wealthy people who aren't paying. And then they got this $80 billion over the course of 10 years. And then 20 was cut from that $80 billion in the last budget. Well, because they're doing a continuing resolution, another 20 may be cut because they're not rewriting the bill. They're just kicking it down the can. So that automatic $20 billion, which was never anticipated would be taken away, is going to be taken away. Could very well be by the Republican Party. And why are they doing that? Because the IRS has gotten billions of dollars back from wealthy people who did not pay their taxes. And they don't want that to happen. They don't want audits of people who are making more than $400,000 a year to go up. They want to be able to avoid taxes. Without the enforcement money, IRS would likely do 2,000 fewer audits of large corporations over the next 5 years and 6,000 fewer audits of high-income individuals. That's what will happen. They want to cut places like the IRS. I can assure you, God bless you, that all of the cuts that we see are going to be a function of cutting agencies that have the ability to curb corporate power. And that's what agencies fundamentally do. They protect people who don't have the money. That's what their job is. They protect consumers and citizens and air breathers and water drinkers.
Air breathers and water drinkers, what a way to paint government agencies as superheroes. Look, I'm all for clean air and water, but let's not pretend these agencies are saints. The EPA, FDA, and others have been caught bending over backward for the same corporations they're supposed to regulate. Ever wonder why some big companies can pollute while some businesses get fined for minor infractions? It's because the system is rigged, Sam. You can't call the referees heroes when they're on the payroll of the teams they're officiating. You guys can let me know if you agree with that down in the comments below.
And to all of us from corporations that want to make a profit, and instead of paying the cost that it takes to mitigate whatever their byproducts are of that profit, they want to dump it into the water, they want to dump it into the air, they want to cut corners, and they want to, stick as many chickens they can into a room so that they can increase their profit margin. But if it increases, the infections or bird flu or whatever, they're going to socialize those costs. That's what this advertisement for Elon Musk's meme coin committee is. Continue.
That creates a federal bureaucracy that's hampering our economy. So what do we want to do? We want to go in and slash and burn that bureaucracy to help Americans, stimulate the economy, and to restore self-governance again, Sean. The people we elect to run the government, they're not even the ones who run the government anymore. It's these unelected bureaucrats. Republican politicians have talked about fixing this for a long time, not with a lot of progress. So I do think it's going to take a couple of outsiders. Elon and I have built a great friendship over the last year. We're working together.
All right, we don't need to hear anymore, because what is fascinating about someone complaining about unelected bureaucrats coming in as outsiders who have been unelected and doing all this cutting? Where are the elected people who are going to do this? Like, why not have Congress do it? They have the ability to do it. They're elected. Have them do it. He's an unelected bureaucrat. In fact, he's not even under the auspices of the government at this point. The only benefit they're going to get is they're not going to have to pay taxes because they're working for the federal government.
You can't be a bureaucrat if you're a rich guy. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Sam, but when Trump said drain the swamp in 2016, it doesn't really work as well when you're putting billionaires at the head of the Treasury Department and in commerce and corporate lobbyists and foreign national lobbyists in your administration, including as your chief of staff. That was Pam Bondi, Attorney General, who lobbied for Qatar. Then the swamp, it starts to look a little too over-the-top swampy, so you've got to change like in that previous video where they were changing the definition of fascism, they're changing the definition of the swamp, not to the billionaires who are crushing everybody and ransacking our government and making sure that you're immiserated and your wages don't go up.
Here's the thing, wages aren't stagnant because of Elon Musk or Vivek Ramaswamy. They're stagnant because government regulations and inflation keep squeezing the middle class. You want wages to go up? Cut taxes, lower inflation, and stop Washington from picking winners and losers. Billionaires aren't saints, but blaming them for every problem while ignoring the role of a government is just lazy analysis.
No. It's government employees, maybe making $70,000 a year, working in Washington, D.C. for the gaming and fishing department or working at the FDA. Those are the people that you got to be mad at. Don't look at me, Vivek Ramaswamy, rich guy who went to Harvard and tried to rap, with all the street cred that he has. Or Elon Musk, son of an emerald miner, apartheid apologist, who's continued his ransacking of the public here in the United States. Don't look at us. We're Doge. We're looking out for you as we literally pick your pocket in front of your face.
And don't worry, the chair of the subcommittee for Doge in the House will be Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yep.
Well, she does look like a Doge, so that
we
makes
play this
sense.
Fareed Zakaria bullshit. I mean, this is like, this is the amazing thing is these guys this is what neoliberalism is. It is kneecapping government's ability to curb corporate and private money's interests in trying to privatize the profits and socialize the costs. Here is Fareed Zakaria,
a plagiarist.
I think he came up with this himself, but he has been known to plagiarize stuff in the past. Here he is.
Here's my take. Of Donald Trump's recent announcements, the one that intrigues, even excites me the most, is the establishment of DOGE, the misnamed Department of Government Efficiency. Misnamed because it is really a non-governmental advisory body that will work with the White House, not any kind of department inside
Pause it
government.
for a second. I mean, just for a moment, contemplate the idea that they purposefully named this after Elon Musk's meme coin. Like, they are using government right here in front of you. Like, just before you even get through to what this committee does, they are using it again. They're using government to maximize their profits.
This is a classic leftist playbook. Corporations are the devil and government is their helpless victim. Here's the thing, Sam's not entirely wrong that corporations work to influence government. But what he won't admit is that the government is an active participant in this mess. They're not just being used, they're opening the door, rolling out the red carpet and asking for campaign donations. The government isn't some damsel in distress, it's a willing partner in crime. But sure, let's only blame the billionaires.
I mean, that's like, it's literally built into the name.
They're basically consultants.
Good.
It's like hiring consultants for the government. It's like that.
Well, but the like they're sucking the government for their own ability to profit is like I say, right there in front of you. Go ahead.
Work with the White House, not any kind of department inside government. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who will be in charge of DOGE, are both brilliant, and the federal government has clearly become too expansive and it's too cumbersome. There are over 180,000 pages of federal regulations. Surely it's worth taking a close look at them and retiring many. Observers have pointed out
this
that
just sort of general notion that the government's too big. This is what they said for the ACA too. The big line for the Affordable Care Act was, it is, do you know how many pages it is? Yeah. It's 1,000 pages. That's absurd. I got news for you. Every one of those excess pages are a carve out for corporations to avoid the regulations that were written in the first place. That's what's going on there. You want to avoid having government, so many government documents? Make lobbying illegal. Make lobbying illegal, and you will see that you can really streamline all of these regulations. But all of those extraneous pieces of paper are to do carve-outs for wealthy people who have lobbied the government against protecting its citizens. Go ahead.
taking a close look at them and retiring many. Observers have pointed out that the duo's efforts will be much harder to achieve than they imagine. Washington may be quite inefficient, but most of what it does is write checks with great efficiency. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment insurance, and other mandatory programs make up around 60% of the federal budget. Donald Trump has often said he would protect most of this spending. Next is the Department of Defense at over 800.
Oh, I'm sure they'll cut that. The agency that has failed audits like basically every single year I've been on this planet. So,
Unbelievable.
Like Fareed Zakaria was busted numerous dozens and dozens of times, just lifting passages from other people's work and not even updating. So if the passage said last year this happened, he didn't even update last year if he wrote it a year later. Like that, he still has a job because he's willing to say just shit that the corporate class want him to say at that position.
you know what if a journalist was actually getting their hands on like this premise, perhaps they would have maybe even asked a question about like, oh, the guy leading this DOGE government efficiency task force, basically Deloitte for the federal government, does he have any contracts with the Defense Department that has, as I just mentioned, been audited multiple times and billions of dollars have just gone missing? SpaceX and Tesla, or not Tesla, but I mean, at least with the Defense Department, Elon Musk has billions of dollars worth of
The Elon Musk hit piece, what a classic. They're upset that SpaceX has government contracts, but let's think about this for 1 second. Would you rather taxpayer money go to a bloated, inefficient contractor or a private company like SpaceX that actually innovates and gets results? Sure, Musk benefits from these deals, but he's delivering value. Meanwhile, government-run programs lose billions and keep failing audits. Maybe the real scandal isn't Musk, but why the government can't balance its own checkbook.
contracts with them.
Tesla got a subsidy from Barack Obama in like 2008 for about $1/3 billion.
But I'm sure he'll look at that waste and spending with,
Well, now you can say we should end that program. And if I had the ability to end it then, I would have ended it. But,
Well, there it is, Sam Seder's latest rant about billionaires, government reform, and apparently meme coins. He makes some good points about the system being broken, but he completely ignores how government is complicit in the very problems he's riling against. What do you guys think? Are outsiders like Elon and Vivek the disruptors we need, or is Sam right to sound the alarm? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.